Hello people, I thought I'd make a Foley video now that I've played around with it a bit and seen what works well. So down here we've got cast and speed. This is our equilibrium, and this is a flex slot, so I put this in because I thought this might work good, but really put anything you want there. You could probably go more strength or whatever you want. And for the subsume I took Tesla Nervos with teslabank, because this in conjunction with all the damage you can do with their 2 just creates more crazy AoE. And for viral, we've got the Hound here. This, from all the companions I've used, seems to be the best because, you know, this all these stats effects will be bouncing around constantly. So this is the way I've set this up. And the Hound here, it can pretty much stay immortal as long as we keep periodically doing a few melee attacks, and it should be fine. And it's going to boost their shield, it's going to spread stats effects, just all that sort of good stuff that the Hound typically does. A bit of fire rate, you know, but you don't really need that. You could swap these out if you don't want to really care about shooting, because to be fair, she doesn't need to rely on weapons that much. You can just kill everything with casting your 4 and your 2 and periodically firing the Sados alt fire, because it can bounce around, prime people up, and put damage in the barrels, causing them to explode. Same with this here. You know, this is just for a bit of viral priming if you want to do it. Give us some overguard. So this is the mods on here. Shield gating as well over here. And then on the Sado we have this corrosive magnetic heat. You could swap this out for viral magnetic heat if you wanted to, but I put the corrosive on it because it's going to be bouncing around and it's going to be giving us more ability damage with this green shard here. Here we just have the standard Praetos to jump around and get around faster. Nothing really fancy here. Don't need to use it, use whatever you want. You could use a glaive, I bet they'd work well. So I'll show off this build here and then we'll play around with a few other things that seem interesting. So mod wise, this is what I went for. Huge range, decent enough strength, a bit of duration. Now Ice Storm can proc off of the cold barrels. Doesn't seem to proc off the other little cold device that she can put down. This is more strength here, because why not? I thought the 4 was the weakest of her abilities, so I replaced it. But if you like the 4, you could replace the 3. I thought the 4 interfered with the gameplay a bit, so I think this is the best way to run it. And if you don't want to use teslabank and you still want to use this sort of setup that works just as good, we have a roar version here, swapping out the augment for precision intensify, but otherwise everything's the same. So when I show this one here, the roar one's essentially going to be the same, with slightly less AoE probably. So Archon Flow can also proc off of the cold damage from the things you can put down with their second ability. Archon Stretch obviously is going to proc with a Hound. It's going to proc with the electric ability she does. And another good thing about this Hound here, with Synergized Prospectus, it's going to periodically give us Overguard because we'll have secondary Fortifier. So whether you have secondary Fortifier on here, along with your shield game, which is nice, see, whether you have secondary Fortifier on here or whether you have it on this, you know, it can proc here as well. So I just leave this on here always because sometimes I swap out the secondary and then the Hound will always be able to proc secondary Fortifier because it's on our Archgon. So let's have a look at her and her abilities. Again, this is the mods. Our 1 is our panic button. To be honest, everything's so CC'd and under status effects or dying so quickly that I haven't encountered any survivability yet on base Steel Path, and to be fair, up to level cap I think it'll be pretty much the same, because if you get in any danger you press this, you've got 4 seconds of invulnerability, and then by then everything should be dead. Maybe we'll need to swap out this for catalyzing shields if it's a problem at level cap, or swap it a bit of range if it's a problem at level cap for catalyzing shields, because brief respite and the stuff on here will be enough for us to shield get, because our shield goes down to something ridiculous like 45 or something when we put on catalyzing shields. So the gist of this is this. Then I'll go into a mission and showcase it. So, you know, he's going to be viral priming for us. We'll see the synergized prospectus in a minute. There we go. And we can alt fire this. Spread around at people. So if we get down our Tesla Nervos, hold it down, get off. Now look at that, we've got overguard, that's the Hound doing that. So then we'll alt fire this. When this goes off, look, AoE. So that was just the Tesla Nervos and the augment on its own. Nice enough, kills. Any kill with that will detonate. So if we get this back out, make sure we've got the 4 Tesla Nervos up, throw it down a barrel, alt fire, big explosions. Tesla Nervos, who's it attached to? I'm attached to somebody there, put it in the barrel, big explosions. Again, big explosions. And then we can put down this one here, the arc trap can be quite nice. So it's like a pure electric build there if you just run and rely on that. With the arc trap down, we've got the Tesla Nervos down, and everything's going to die because this arc trap on its own is already strong, look at it. And then when it kills somebody, it'll cause an AoE. Get arc trap down, and then we're seeing the big AoE from the Tesla Nervos detonating. Now, for proccing Archon Flow and the Arcane Ice Storm, let's simulate these guys here, and we'll throw down some barrels. We'll see Archon Flow proccing in a minute. See an Archon Stretch there. Everything's dying too quickly, so I'll take the companion off just now to show it, just to prove that we can proc Archon Flow and the Arcane Ice Storm. Oh, clicking on the wrong one. Get the next guys in. Archon Stretch.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
What bottle do we want? We want the cold bottle. There we go. There's the cold bottle. No, it's a blast bottle. Why am I not getting the cold bottle? Here we go. There's the cold bottle. And it blew up. Of course this is going to be a problem right now, but it does proc. Let's see if we can get it to work now. Blast again. Arcane Ice Storm, there we go, look at that, 14. So eventually we got to proc. So it does proc that and it can go higher. So it's nice for strength and duration. And then, you know, Archon Flow can proc off of that as well. But this thing here, look at this little thing here, Coralizer Armament. That doesn't seem to proc it, but if it kills, it can proc Archon Flow. So we'll see if it does it. There we go, Archon Flow proc, see? So that can do that. So that's why I put it on, just in case we use it. But I would say the two best are these. The Explosive Barrel, the Arc Trap. Also, the Death Orb can be quite good too. We'll put that down. One of these guys. Our Tesla things on. And then when one of them dies, there'll be an AoE kill. And there's the AoE kill. So this kind of just essentially creates more AoE for this build. Not that it really needs it because it's so strong without. It doesn't even need a helmet. I just thought I'd try something different that I hadn't seen anybody do yet. So I would primarily stay with Explosive Barrel and Arc Trap. Of course we've got the RPG and we've got the Lock Surge and we've got all the other good things. But with this I've just been using, you know, the Barrel, the Arc Trap, the Death Orb, occasionally this Coralizer Armament in the RPG if you want to. So I'll take it in a mission in a minute and show it. So if we do this, if we spawn in these guys here, throw down this, get 4 of these onto them.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
And there's a guy over there. Oh, and I completely missed, which is ridiculous. But still didn't kill him. So the RPG isn't really that good. Maybe if we had them primed up. So we'll get the companion back out. The hound with viral. So put this down. And that was a bit better, I suppose. Bit more AoE. But you know, what's the point when you can just put that down and kill everything a lot quicker and better. So other things you could use, maybe I thought about the Bubonicle. You could use Assault Fire for priming them up with viral if you didn't want to take that companion. This would be a good way to get viral in people. Viral, corrosive, heat, magnetic. This is a 1-forma build. Eventually this will be changed to have its valence bonus being electric, so we don't need to mod any corrosive, and it'll be innate corrosive. Then we can mod magnetic and heat on it and free up some more mod slots. But right now this should do. Another good secondary I thought of using was Scouted, because we can group enemies up here without having to use the Nautilus. We can shield gate off this as well and get overguard. And then, you know, for another sort of idea here, shot caller, we've got the slam, because we can just teleport in the sky. How do we do it? And, you know, slam, if you want to do that. But pretty brain dead, is it? Nobody really wants to do that anymore. But that will at least get us the slam height we need to get. So if we do something like this, get these guys in here, we can group them all up. We can put down this right here, put one of that on them, and blow them all up. So something like this, viral them, group them up together, and then they'll explode with electric. Doesn't look that good in this simulacrum, but it works pretty well in mission. So we group people up. If they're cold proc, they don't really group up that well. But then we could put something down like this, and you know, that's going to just blow them all up because we've got that augment. And then we can throw down something like Paralyzer Armament, and it'll damage them all grouped up together like that. Alt fire the Bubonicle and blow everybody up. Or just go back to the battles and, you know, spawn in a heap of people, standing, you know, camp somewhere in a doorway, group them up with the Bubonicle, the Skyoted, go battle on them, and they're all dead. But the best way I've found to play it is just, you know, run around, viral prime, keep your Tesla nervos up, and then throw battles on people. And you're going to get bigger AoE, like that, double detonation. And the Hound's going to be occasionally killing these Tesla Nervos targets as well, spreading huge status effects. And it's just nice, huge AoE damage, very easy. Not really having to rely on weapons that much. So we'll go with what I found worked best with the Sado. And we'll take this here as well, so we've got viral and a bit of shield gain. Suppose we could take the hammer, because whether you're jumping, you know, like this with the one ability and slamming, or whether you're doing it like this, where is it? Launch pad. You could do it like this, I suppose. You could use that to jump around, but I don't think there's much need when you've just got the one ability and you can just go like that. So let's go on a mission. So here we are in the mission, and we'll focus mostly on the, the barrels, the arc trap, a little bit of the cauterizer armament, death orb, and try the RPG. But that's going to be the main points of this. Really just spamming these along with the Tesla Nervos. Sometimes this, and sometimes this.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out.
We shouldn't have to rely on weapons that much.
I'm sending auxiliary life support.
Maybe just to get the thing going at the beginning like this. And already we're seeing the hound killing and spreading a lot of stats effects. And, when it nukes these teslabank targets, as we know, it's going to be just bigger AoE. Get our energies up a bit. And then wait till these guys come in. I'm going to kind of see the big AoE going off now. How nuking them, things like that. Massive AoE. Now we can alt fire the Sado from a distance away, so if we Tesla Nervos and this target's here, look at this. And then we throw a barrel out, alt fire, we're bound around priming them,
Life support capsule to the
and
area.
blowing up any barrels.
Activating it will buy you more time.
You could just camp here and do it. Or, you could use the arc trap, throw them out. And look at that. Just insanity. We get the arc trap over there. And then when it kills people, it'll AoE kill when it hits the Tesla Nervos people. And the hound's doing his job as well. But like I said, mostly you want to be using these bottles. And it helps if you're in a better room sort of layout than this.
Life support.
But let's put down one of these orbs here. Within the Tesla Nervos and just stand back.
Another life support capsule is now available.
So let's put down this cauterizer armament here. Which is cold damage, it's not the best, but it does the job. Now for him, we're going to want to throw barrels down. To be honest, you could just kill him with the Sado. See how the arc oil does. The arc trap, sorry. I haven't really tried this much against acolytes. Not the greatest. Appears that these ability damages aren't doing that great against Acolytes. But we can wipe them out with the Sado or the hammer. Just keep up 4 of these Tesla nervals at all times, so they're always going around and seeking enemies and throw your bottle down.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
As you can see, I haven't had to use my first ability at all to survive yet, really. So if I put this down here, put down the Tesla nervals as well. I'm some viral. And there's a big explosion there. Put in the arc coil here. Put in the Tesla nervals. We'll get some AoE again.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
As long as these dudes are viral primed, there should be no problem killing them, really. And we've got no energy issues, as we can see. This little electric thing you can drop down is quite strong. When his Tesla nervals up, when the electric down again. Once it kills this dude, it should be decent damage on everybody. Yep, big AoE. But like we said, the bottles are probably our best choice here. We can hide quite far away. If we go down here and you start throwing bottles out up here, let's throw out this Tesla nervals, we can camp back here. So we know there's lots of guys up there. Let's you can see the sort of damage it's doing over there, and this will scale all the way up to the level cap because we know our damage scales. Let's throw a bottle over there, I'll fire it. And boom, big damage. I thought that was something a bit different. And I hope you can take something away from this video. Big AoE there. It's the Tesla nervals going off and the dog killing. These Tesla nervals up. Bring the bottles up. And it's almost like a similar feeling of Vauban in some sort of way. Let's see how we do against violence. Oh, good. So keep a weapon to deal with him. As you can see, he's dealt with quite easily. Take out an RPG. We get Tesla Nervos targets. There's one of them over here, maybe. There's one. Big OE. One up there too. So the RPG is okay, I think, but there's definitely more reason to be using the other ones, like the electric shocks and the bottles. So I think that's enough. I think I've showed the gist of how I built this, really, and how we do it. Just spam the Tesla Nervos and spam the bottles, or spam the little electric shocks, and you should be good. Plenty of AoE killing, and as you can see, there's not really been much survival issues. So, I think that'll do. Cheers.